Welcome to Overtime, the podcast. Overtime is a podcast dedicated to all things watches, particularly in the microbrand and affordable range. I'm Praka, and this is my co-host, Justin.
We are two watch enthusiasts based out of Perth, Western Australia. Join us as we discuss our thoughts on new releases, share our personal experiences, and offer our insights on building a collection.
Whether you're a seasoned enthusiast or just starting your journey, Overtime will keep you entertained with informative insights and casual conversations.
Let's get started.
So Justin, how you going, mate?
Hey man, I'm glad to be back. I can't remember how many weeks it's been, but we're back. Like we just kind of said off air. The I guess it's called ring rust in the fighting world, but I guess there'll be a bit of ring rust here. But yeah, real happy to be back. I'm still on holidays, so I am cruisy at the moment. Yeah. But the 3 weeks is approaching very quickly. So I'm on the kind of decline into getting full-time school on the go and normal life very quickly approaching after living off of crappy food and the beach and all the other stuff you do on holidays. But how about yourself? How you been?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm very jealous, you bastard. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Well-deserved break. And you can definitely tell you're on holidays. You're definitely tanner than usual. So I can see that. No, mate, good. Same here. It's a bit rusty, but I'm glad to be back. Glad to kick off season 2. We've had a great break, I think. Season 1, a little bit of a hiatus. And yeah, we've just got some pretty cool things coming up this year, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, for sure. No, looking forward to the year, and thank you for the tan comment. I've been working on it. It's not sunburn for a change. I should be sponsored by some sort of zinc brand over here at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, well, hey, we'll take any sponsorship, by the way. Just putting it out there. Anyone listening? Yeah, maybe zinc. Yeah, sure. We'll take a zinc.
100%.
All right. Well, yeah. Look, I guess before we kick off each episode, as we always do, what's on your wrist, mate?
All right. Yeah. Today I went with the Boulder Voyage Antarctic, which nice. I think has been my most warm watch of holidays. If you follow me on Instagram, you kind of see I haven't really stopped. We've gone for hikes on the cooler days. I think we've been at the beach 4 days a week for the past 7 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, out on the boat. We've done a lot of fishing, a lot of boogie boarding. For Christmas, the kids got skateboards and BMXs. So a lot of skate park type of stuff.
Yeah.
I think this, I think in the last episode, we touched on the state of the collections, and This one is very firmly in the collection, and it's, accompanied me on some pretty cool journeys. I did a day where I walked up and down the Swan River, just fishing while my kids were out at my parents' house. Literally just took a heap of soft plastic baits and walked, and I got super muddy. I had my reef walkers on, and probably one of the best solo kind of days without the kids I've had in years. It was an absolute ball.
Nice.
But yeah, this watch is stunning. I've got 3 straps on the way that are all purpose for this, and looking forward to somewhat getting back to work, but also wearing the Boulder in the near future.
I get it now. That's why you bought all those straps for.
That's it.
Boulder. Okay, it's all making sense. It's all making sense.
That's it.
Awesome.
What about yourself, man? What's on the wrist today?
I have gone to the old Christopher Ward. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. Christopher Ward C63 GMT. Back on the bracelet today. Yeah, back on the bracelet. Yeah, just I guess a day at work, and as you do, meetings, all that kind of stuff. So, and it's just a classy watch. Very fits well. I can't complain. It's just a great watch.
Can't beat it on the bracelet either.
Yes, and
I recently. I was about to say, like,
resize it on the way. Yeah,
it has been incredibly hot here. I think today was the kind of first bit of respite in a week or so. But yeah, again, if you follow me on Instagram, I took some awesome photos of that storm that rolled through here in Perth a couple of weeks ago, which I also had the Boulder on for when we were off the beach up in where we were Eden Beach. Incredible thunderstorm that just appeared out of nowhere. That was there and gone in 45.
Yeah, we've had some pretty crazy storms, and I guess all across the state. But there was some pretty cool shots, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, and I think in the last couple of episodes we shouted out the firefighters of Perth, if there is any that listen, and massive shout out again. Like my family's also been affected by some local fires up in the wheat belt, and they're still out there now. They got hammered again by storms out there yesterday and today.
I saw that.
It's just been relentless out there. So if you're a fiery out in those areas, credit to you.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yep. And yes, stay safe, people. Stay safe.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we thought, we'll kick off this season, bit of a soft launch, if you may.
Mhm.
We thought we would go back and see our favorite releases of 2023 in no particular order or anything like that. Look, we've discussed some of these in our podcast last season. Some we haven't, but yeah, we thought we would start off with something that, sort of harks back to 2023, give everyone a bit of, a flavor, I guess, of what's to come this year. And yeah, so without further ado, Justin, do you want to kick us off with your first favorite release of 2023?
Yep, for sure. All right, so I went with the maybe not my most favorite, but it was on the list, the Studio Underdog Series 2.
Nice.
And this is a watch that popped up in my quest for the perfect field watch over the past couple of probably 6 months now, I'd say. It's just the Studio Underdog came in swinging pretty hard with their first release and got a lot of traction, a lot of hype, came with colors, and they were spoken about in the watch media quite a lot. I think in what is the next step where they coming in next time, and I think this watch was a bit of a home run. I can't remember if we did speak about this or not.
I think we
Um,
did touch on it. Yeah, briefly, I think.
yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
Okay, yeah, well, just in terms of following up a pretty big release, I think they did real well because this kind of got not I wouldn't say leaked, but there was photos of this coming out in the metal before it came out in articles because it appeared at some sort of watch show or fair
Yeah.
overseas, and it was such a hype way of doing it. No press release, just wrist shots from a booth
Yep.
over at a presentation somewhere. Awesome. But in terms of field watch and what it is, colors awesome, case awesome, and really stuck to the design language of the brand. I don't think after my searching that it is the one for me, but it's done enough to kind of stick in my head. And when I see the dial and those two, I don't know what you call them, they kind of look like flathead screws on the dial.
I, I
Is that what they are?
I think so. They
Yeah.
literally look like screws in the dial. Yeah.
Yeah, like it sticks in my mind. Like this watch isn't easily forgotten, and
Yep.
it's probably one of the reasons it's one of my favorite releases. And there's been some stunning wrist shots come out of it over
Yeah,
the past few months.
for sure. I love that pink lemonade
Oh,
sort
so
of
beautiful.
color. It actually does look like one. Yeah. Oh, mate, great pick. Yeah. I don't. For me, I don't think it's quite the home run as the first release, but it definitely is a great watch and
Hmm.
great size. You got your solid movement in there as well. I think Salida hand wind movement,
Yep.
Swiss movement. I think they got popped a bit of flack on the price, but to be honest, it's an original design. Yes, it's
Hmm.
mil spec kind of stuff, but it is, it's different. It's different. It's quirky, and again, I think yeah, the reason why I remember saying that we've spoken about this is because we always talk about Studio Underdog's release model or how they do
Mm.
releases, and I love it. I love
Oh,
the
I love it
fact
too. Yeah.
that he just says,
Here it is.
I'm gonna have the window open for this length, and as many people that buy can buy in that window. After that, it'll close. So there's no complaint about missing out. There's no,
Yep.
you've got the time, you can order it. And it's not, half an hour drop, or it's going to drop and immediately if you've got days, and it's
Mm.
it's awesome. Hats off to Studio Underdog. That's like, yeah. I mean, I really like the watch, but I love that business model even more.
I feel like we're seeing a little bit more of that business model as well in
Yeah.
2023. I think we are not moving completely away
Mm,
from the missing out of stuff, but there has been more of the here it is. You can get on the bandwagon if you want to. If you
correct.
don't, too bad. So
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah. And also more stock in general and stuff, I think
Yep.
is good. So because people want to buy it, right? So nice one. Great
Yeah,
one.
for sure.
Great one to launch off.
Sweet. All right, on to the next.
On to the next. All right. Well, I'll kick off with it's a pretty big one for me anyway. It's a Seiko. Surprise, surprise. It's a Seiko SPB 411, which is the reissue of the classic 1960s Navigator timer. So it's a GMT watch, and it is literally a 1-to-1 of their original. It's pretty close. I wouldn't say, I think it's just, and it has that same, 5 link sort of bracelet. It's got the vintage vibes, the hands, the sunburst gray dial that they used to have in all their sort of 70s, 60s watches. And I love the fact that it is a recreation, but also it is like very
It's very
much the
faithful.
same. Very faithful. It's almost identical. I mean,
It
honestly.
is.
And
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
yeah, it's amazing. And you know, I think the biggest complaint that everyone, when it did first came out, was the price, because, as the Seikos, get a bit more expensive and stuff, and some of these things. I think it's a 6R54 movement, which is
Sounds right. Yep.
it's not sort of their low end or GMT movement. It's sort of their higher end, so if you say. I think it's like, when they released it, retail was $1,500. So it's not cheap by any means, but I think you can get it, or it is a limited edition, as all these are, but a limited edition of 4,000 is not really that much of a limited edition. I should be able to
Mate,
pick one up.
one day when stuff gets broken and lost and whatnot, it'll be a lot more limited. But yeah, 4,000 is a lot of pieces when you think about it.
Exactly. And also, yeah, I think I just think it's a great. uh, I love the fact that it was a faithful reissue. It looks
Mm.
great on the wrist, 40 mil, but again, it's got a cushion case like the turtle style. And yeah, that was why I think this is one of my picks of 2023.
Yeah, I love the case. It's that turtle cushion style, but it's a little bit thinner, and that
Mm.
crown is very tucked away and hidden and protected. It's when you look at it, you can tell it's a nod to something from a past time, but at the same time, still looks very in the vein of modern Seiko
Yeah.
as well. And I think with what Seiko are doing with even the 5 range at the moment, and those kind of explorer-esque dials that they've just come out with,
Yeah.
they're doing big things in the GMT space.
Yeah.
Finally,
Yeah, sure.
it's been a while, but yeah, no, I love this. It's not for me,
Yeah.
although the silver gray, whatever kind of color dial that is, with just that single red hand, but everything else being
Opposite.
not. Yeah, it really, really just makes it stand out.
Yeah.
The only thing I could change, that colored date wheel would be perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
But then you wouldn't have, it's not the faithful remake that it was.
Correct. And I do like the fact as well, like there's no Prospex X logo and stuff on
So
it to
good.
ruin it. Yeah, that's that's the
Also,
that's the best part about it, I would say.
different case back too. You're so used to seeing the Irukandji, the wave is
Yeah.
Irukandji. What is it? That's a jellyfish.
Irukandjis are jellyfish in WA. No, you're thinking of the Kanagawa, the great
Kanagawa, that's the
Yeah.
one. Yeah,
Yep.
No, I'm on different wavelength at the moment. But yeah, different case back in the Seiko range is cool.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a beautiful, beautiful piece.
This is a
Cool.
you watch too. Is very much. Yeah, I can see you
Yeah.
wearing this.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but it's too much like like many of my other watches that I have color wise. So, yeah. What's
Fair
your second piece, mate?
All right, so I think anyone who follows along to the podcast knew this one was going to be on the list. It's got to be the Spinnaker 50 Fathoms.
Yep.
I think I've said this multiple times. I don't really lust or long for a watch or get envious over a watch. This one here really, really has a place in my heart. Hey, the second release, as much as it was a nice afterthought, it just didn't hit the same as the first release. Seeing photos come out, because people are now receiving the watches and have had them for some time, it's so much cooler in photos instead of rendered images. It's got so much personality. It's playful, but also, a homage to the 50 Fathoms at the same time. It says a lot of history. There's ghosts on it. Released around the Halloween time as well. It just really does it for me, and I'm sad that I missed out on this watch. I have been watching the forums and seeing it go up in price and whatnot. I don't think it's ever going to be on the cards unless it comes down. But yeah, I do really, really lust for this watch.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I just don't see it going down, just because of
No.
the collaboration with Sakon, who's like, he's like wildfire now. Like anything he touches, just magic. And yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I think it's going to come down, but hey, you never know. You never know.
Just everything about this, like it's not really a watch that I would go for without the ghost on the dial. Just the crown shape isn't my thing.
Yeah.
The whole design, the ghost kind of bezel on that grey that was first released, on with the smaller amount that was released, that matched with the band, matched with the dial, the placement of the ghost, the giant ghost on the rotor as well. Everything was just so perfect
Yeah.
about this watch for me. And
Yeah.
I was in the queue and it just didn't happen for me.
Yeah.
I'd signed up, but yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I'm not angry or jaded about it. It's just one of those things. I see someone pop up on Instagram, I'm just like, oh man,
Yeah.
it does things to me.
And also I like the faded ghost bezel thing. Kind of reminds
So
me of
cool.
those really old vintage Rolexes and vintage, like Seiko dive watches and stuff that just have those
Yeah,
faded bezels, and it just works sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes it just looks old, but like
yeah.
that has that sort of, yeah. So great,
I would
great.
even go to the length to say if this had been added to my collection, I would have consolidated further down because I don't think I'd be able to stop wearing this watch.
Wow.
It is so cool to me, and I like it's kind of silly at the same time because it's just little ghosts, but to me it's such a home run, and I really do long for it.
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes this hobby, this game doesn't really make a lot of sense, does it? We don't.
No, that's it. Yeah, shout out to Hands, Faces, and Cases on
Yeah.
Instagram. Great bloke to chat to. He managed to pick one up, and
Nice.
he takes some great shots of it. So if you want to have a look at some actual real life in the metal shots, head over to his Instagram to have a look.
Nice. Okay, cool. Well,
Sweet.
we'll have to chuck a link or something for
Yep.
that. No worries. Oh, we'll be chucking links to all the watches we speak about in the show notes as usual. All right. Well, I guess I'll go next. And the next one I'm going to speak about is the Traska. So the brand Traska and the Summer Tier. We've probably spoken about this watch a couple of times in the podcast. We've had hands on with this watch as well. So Traska Summer Tier, strictly speaking, it's not the first time it's being released. It was released in 2019, but each year Traska's re-released it with updated features, just improving, steadily improving each year. They've got different generations, and every time they've just made it better and better and better. And the latest generation, the 2023, the fourth generation, yeah, it's just a clean, simple garter that that literally wears so well on your wrist. It's thin Miyoto 9 series movement. I think it's 11 mils. No, sorry, 10 and a half
And
mils.
yeah, I remember 10 being the thing that stuck in my mind about that watch. I was like, unreal. They've done
10
well
and a
there.
half mils thick. And it's got this awesome crystal, and the dial as well. It's got this like sort of 3D effect to it because there's a bowl in the middle, like a little cutout in the
Hmm.
middle. Obviously it's inspired by the Explorer, but it just has a, what do you call it? An awesome vibe.
It's got a lot of character to
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
For being a
yeah.
black and white dial watch, it's got a lot of character when you get it in person and see it in some different lights.
Agreed. And just the metal as well, like I think it's got some sort of coating on it as well.
Hmm.
It just looks a bit, I guess, a bit different in the steel. Has like
Mm.
that sort, and the bracelet as well. Fantastic bracelet, the way it wears, and all that for not a lot of money as well.
Mm.
For micro brands these days, things are getting more and more expensive, as you know. But I think, in terms of value for money in a micro brand, it's quite a lot. I mean, yes, look, it's
Yeah.
still 900 Aussie dollars, but I think it's roughly equates to around $600, 600 US dollars.
Mm.
But
It's
you
also
get
not 10 grand plus and
exactly
a couple of years on a wait list for something that,
eggs.
in our opinion, I think has a bit more risk presence and a bit more personality to it. Come at me if you need to. But yeah,
Yeah.
after handling that watch, you kind of, I think we've both been hands on with an Explorer at
Yep.
some point,
Correct.
Explorer One,
Yep.
and yeah, they are what they are. They are gorgeous, but
Yep.
they're the kind of, I don't want to say OG, but they're
Mm.
from looking back in my memory, apart from what do you got, the Smiths and that sort of stuff out there, you
Yep.
kind of got that not feud battle for who was up top first. I guess we spoke about that once upon a time too.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, to jump in the ring with some of those kind of brands and turn it up a little bit and have your own design lane and bring something else to the table and
Yeah.
innovate,
Yeah.
really stands out.
Yeah, and also just offering all the little bits, and it's
Mm.
so well finished, and there's so many little things that are just well thought out in the watch. Like I've picked up a watch, that's way more expensive than this watch, and then you look at some of the features and you go, you know what, they could have done this, they could have done that,
Hmm.
and it's just little things, that you think, and yeah, the bracelet, the way it's sort of like every link articulates and how it sits in your like on your wrist and actually, funny again. I don't want to keep comparing it to something like it, but a bloke put up his Trasker up for sale on some marketplace or whatever it was, and this he said, he owns an Explorer, and he's like, to be honest, he's like, there's it's not, yes, there's differences, right? Of course there is. We're
Mm.
not trying to compare a $10,000, $8,000 watch to an $800 watch, but it once it gets to a certain level, it's diminishing. All this,
Yeah.
it's all diminishing returns. Yes, there will be improvements. Of course, there's going to be improvements, better movements, better finishing, better, all that stuff, prestige, brand prestige, all that kind of things. But if you're looking for a great product and you're looking for, bang for buck, you just can't go past micros, can you? You just
No.
can't. Yeah.
And the thing I like about the release as well was, you kind of get the build up for, again, an Explorer, when
Mm.
Rolex or the group does their tease of what's coming, and they do the kind of Instagram pan of, you see the 3, 6 and the 9, and you're like, oh, it's, Explorer stuff coming. And then you wait all day for the drop, and then you read 20 articles where it's just like, it's now 39 millimeters. Oh my God. But when you've got 3 iterations of this, what is this, the third one, right? Of
This
the
is the iteration 4, I think.
4. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but when you actually like look at the line or the lineage of this exact
Mm.
watch in Trust's catalog, it's way cooler to see actual developments and leaps and bounds within the development
Yeah.
process over the
In
amount of
in four
years.
years, in four
Yeah.
years, he's gone, like a slimmer case. He's got the so like I think handset was slightly changed, and he's improved the coating, he's improved the scratch resistance of the watch, he's improved the crown. He's made the crown better to use. The case is now coming down more, instead of like a slab, it's more like it's convex shape. There's so many changes in 4 years, but yet it's the same watch. And you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And you can look at it and go, it is the same watch. It's not vastly different. However, little iterations, like you say, and it's not just like it's a different color.
It feels
Oh,
like a lineup, doesn't it? It feels like,
yes.
this, and this, opposed to here's this, and now we're going back to this size. And in 2 years' time, when we up the price by another 2.5 grand, we're going back to the size that you all loved and complained about before. It just, anyway,
Uh,
let's not go there.
let's not go there. All right. Well, let's move on. But anyway, great piece. I think
For
fantastic
sure.
release for 2023. And yeah, highly recommend. It's still for sale. People can still buy it from there. It's
Yep.
not a limited run per se. Plenty out there. And yeah, check it out, listeners.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I'm going to do 3 shout outs for one brand here for some of my favorite releases. So I'm going to go with Oris. And I think Oris is pretty popular every year, I think, among the fan favorites and whatnot. But I think this year stood out pretty big to me because we spoke about them a lot. And I guess, firstly, the Aquas Purple Holstein edition
Hmm.
was pretty big. I think like it got a lot of hype very quickly because purple was on the cards at the start of this year. That's, give or take other conversations. That's how this podcast began
Yeah,
in its early
exactly.
days. But yeah, this came out and it was everywhere. It was all over the place. From memory, my Instagram was absolutely packed with it. And instead of, I think a lot of the purples end up being the same from a lot of releases. There was multiple companies having a crack at purple,
Mm.
especially in the micro brand space. And I think Oris did something a little different and came in with a different hue and a different color. And it was a bit of a home run out of the park with, I guess, a very safe watch to put it on, because
Yep,
obviously
yeah,
the
of course.
purple is not going to work on all of Oris's line. But I think in the Aquas lineup, you've got your upcycles, and they had that upcycle fishnet one. Yeah, there was so much room to play here, and it was a bit of a home run. And I think we both loved it.
Yeah, for sure. great pick, great pick. Oh, yeah, Aquas is one of those watches, proper diver, but also wears, it's chunky, but also wears really well too. Just a compact lug to lug, and it has a unique case shape, really. That's not,
It does, yeah.
yes, it's a diver, and most divers have a very similar, aesthetic. I guess it's all similar shape, similar bezel, all that kind of stuff, crown guards, you name it. But Aquas stands out just a little bit, I think. And yeah, great pick, mate. Great pick.
Sweet. And I will move on to the next one, which is keeping in the timeline of 2023. So that was the first Oris that caught my attention. Second being the Aquas Pro. I feel like this was a pretty big release on the back of Rolex doing their thing as well with the Ultra Deep. Is that Omega, the Ultra Deep? Oh God.
Yeah, I'll get back to you on that one. You
Yeah,
keep
we all
talking.
remember the big 50 whatever mil it was.
Yeah,
Rolex.
the deep sea challenge.
Deep sea challenge. Yeah.
Mm.
That thing was big in the renders. And then when we seen how big it actually was on some wrist shots, it was pretty over the top large.
Yeah,
And
I remember sending you I think it was a video of someone doing a wrist roll, and it looked absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, yeah.
And yeah, I feel like this Aquas Pro came in as like a spec monster for the price. Like it just ticked all the boxes, being a 4,000 meter diver, and then kind of you don't need 4,000 meters by any means, but they did it. And then sticking with their 5-day power reserve on top of that, and keeping, like we just said about the purple edition as well, the case is pretty accurate and pretty similar to what the Aquas usually looks like. Even from side angles, I can't remember off the top of my head how thick it is, but it stays pretty true to its design, I think.
Yeah, obviously it's a bit bigger. I think it's almost 50 mil the case, but yes, you're right. It still looks wearable. If I can say that, it looks wearable. Yeah.
If you look at the shots on I think it's the Monochrome's review, they're wearing a suit with it, and as much as you wouldn't do it, it doesn't look horrible. Where if I feel like you put that Challenger Deep Sea on, that thing was pretty. What would be the word? Like bulbous. It like had that dome on top, and it was pretty crazy. But this, I feel is a pretty good attempt at doing your first kind of big boy diver.
Yeah, and 4,000 meters. I mean,
yeah.
I guess it's just pushing, like showing other companies, hey, we can do something cool like this as well.
Oh, and for the price, you're in a lane of your own in comparison to the Ultra Deep Omega and the Pro Plof and the Rolex.
Yeah, so is that 4.5K USD?
USD, yep, somewhere around there.
Oh, yeah, no, you're
huge.
Right. Yeah, I mean, comparing them to the other two Omegas and Rolexes versions of these, yeah, massive difference, eh?
Huge difference. Yeah. I mean, you're looking probably over triple that, I think, for the Rolex. Probably. So probably more.
Yeah, but if you can get one. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. Anyway,
sweet. All right, the last Oris I wanted to touch on was a recent release, which was the ProPilot X Caliber 400 laser. Now, I feel out of Oris's complete lineup, the ProPilot X until this year, I guess you can bunch the Kermit in with this as well, is more of their safe line, like a bit of a safer, more traditional kind of piece. It's very true to its wear a pilot watch kind of aesthetic. The initial release came with the grey dial, the salmon dial, and I could not tell you the last one, but there was 3 from memory.
Yeah,
it could have been a navy.
I only recall the salmon and the grey, but yeah,
it could be the 2. But I think this dial would have worked really well on an Aquas as well, but I think is an absolute home run in this watch. Just titanium playing with now a different, that dial is, from what I know and what I've read, is metal that's been heated up with lasers at different heats or strengths across that dial to make it look that way. So there's a fair bit of
engineering
it's probably not
behind it. Wow.
Yeah, engineering. It's not obviously not hands-on people, man hours doing it. It's machine, but it is again a bit of innovation that you don't see from day to day from other brands. And to put it in this watch, I think really suits the whole aesthetic. Whereas it could have gone in the Arquus and everyone would have made a fuss and been over the moon with it. But I feel like in this watch, it really made sense.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely stands out, and it's I'm just looking at photos now, and I've seen a ProPilot in the flesh, and I think it's the grey dial. It's sort of blended in with the watch
Mm,
because the case and the bracelet, they're all titanium. It sort of all became one. But
mm,
I think, yeah, this one with the dial, with the difference, it's a big point of difference, I think, with that color and it just feels very Oris right now. I
yep.
automatically associate color and, sort of, but not just color for the sake of color, but having like various colors to pick from with Oris. I mean, I've got the Oris Diver 65 Glow,
Mm,
which is, again, quite a unique colored dial, but it's on a dive watch, just like this with this and traditionally, I guess a lot of the big brands or the sort of mainstream brands don't do a lot of color
yep.
in their mainstay. So yeah, it's cool, awesome, nice one. So
I
yeah,
think
three big
this
ones.
is a really good way of having fun with a very tool aesthetic. Like it's very tool
Mm.
looking. The titanium gives it that darker finish compared to stainless or compared to steel. Sorry, it's a good way to have fun with a line that maybe was a bit more traditional in the sense.
Sure, sure. Yeah, no, awesome. Yeah, definitely not in our sort of affordable range, but it's cool to like we always say, it's nice to see what's on top because you never know.
Yeah.
And I feel like, this dial might have been inspired by Phoebus. I'm just kidding.
Mm. I mean, Phoebus do some cool stuff.
I know, you
They do
never
some
know.
very cool stuff.
Nice one, nice one. All right, well, I'll go on to my next one and why not? I wasn't going to talk about this, but you brought up Oris, so I'm going to bring up Oris as well. So so there is a watch collectors club that's called the Arab Watch Club, and I'm not sure exactly where they're based in. I believe they're based in, I think, Saudi, but or actually, yeah, it's in the region actually. It's got a few different, sorry, it's in Lebanon, Syria, a few different, yeah. So it's not just, yeah, sorry, I'll take that back. So it's meant to be like in the region, and it's pretty cool because they do a heap of special edition watches. So they team up with various companies. So they've collaborated with Cartier, they've collaborated with Piaget, with Bamford, with, even micro brands like Hoffman, like they
Oh
do
yeah,
like
okay.
little, I guess, cheap-ish, I'm talking like $200-300 US, and, and even who else did they collaborate with? I think like G-Shocks and yeah, anyway, just some
Cool.
really, really cool stuff, right? Even, yeah, Nomos, Zin. They've collaborated some really cool, and everything is just slightly different. But 2023, they released an awesome collab with Oris, funnily enough, and it is a purple dial Oris.
All
So
right.
as as Justin alluded before, to listeners that may not know, one of our first episodes and probably one of the inspirations for, many of the episodes and that we wanted to talk about was the love for purple dial watches. And we have an episode that we've done previously, which is called the Purple Watch Phenomenon. To listeners who haven't listened to it and want to go back and listen to it, yeah, please do. But again, we just want to warn you guys that was before we fixed our audio setup, so there may be a little bit of, a little bit of drop ins and outs. But anyway, this is, yeah. So this is a collaboration with Oris and Siddiqui Group, and it's for the Arab Watch Club, and it was only 50 pieces released. So it's basically an Oris pointer date. So it's a bronze Oris pointer date with a purple dial, and all the numerals on the dial are the Arabic numerals. And not Arabic as in your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're talking about the Eastern Arabic numerals, and then also the which is your date, when your date that goes around in, the pointer date. And the coolest part of it all is that Oris is not written Oris in English. It's written Oris, but it's in Arabic. So it's just, yes, it's just so unique. And the colors as well, the bronze with the purple, and and with the pointer date. The pointer date bit is usually red in a lot of the pointer dates versions, or blue. This is like a yellowy sort of color, like almost
Mm.
like a mustard color. And yeah, it's just a fantastic. Like for me, when I first saw this, I was just like, wow, like this is incredible. I would buy this in a heartbeat. Like,
Yeah, I'd
yeah,
never seen this before. This is unreal. This is real cool.
yeah. No, this popped up. I don't know, in some forum I was reading, and yeah, and it's. I think we spoke about purple being like the color of the year. I think it was the Pantone color of the year 2022.
Yeah.
It's and yeah, it's just an incredible collaboration. And unfortunately, it was only 50 pieces, and they were all pre-sold to the club members. So
Yeah.
you were not going to be getting anything unless someone decides that they're going to sell it. But yeah, I think it was debuted in Dubai, UAE, and yeah, just a great piece. But yeah,
Yeah, that's a
40.
fantastic pick. Jeez. I'd never seen this before. I've never heard of this. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll chuck a link to this so people, listeners can have a look. But yeah, I super unique.
I do think we are going to revisit the whole purple episode again at some point, aren't we?
Oh, for sure. We have plenty to talk about.
That's it.
All
Sweet.
right.
No, that was awesome. Great pick.
Cheers.
All right. I've got a couple more to go. So I think the first one I want to touch on is the Worn and Wound collab with Brew this year, which was the metric chrono regulators.
Oh yeah.
Out of all, Worn and Wound are pretty consistent with their collabs year in, year out. This seems to be the one that's stuck in my head. I mean, yeah, we spoke about this pretty in depth in the episode we did talking about this watch, and all three, I think, are home runs in terms of colors and colorways. They are very true to Worn and Wound as well as Brew as a whole. There's so much going on these watches. It's so busy, but also done it's just done well. I think we spoke about the colored crowns, the colored hands, the different hand sets, the eccentric circles starting from not the center of the dial, and there's a lot going on here, but it's done
Yeah.
so tastefully and so well done that I'd kind of regret not picking one of these up.
Yeah.
But yeah, just one of the more micro collab stuff that really stuck in my brain throughout the year.
For sure. Yeah. Look, yeah, we did speak about this very in depth in an episode, and Worn and Wound do some awesome collabs with micro brands. I've got one of those with Nevada Grenchen, and I love it. It's just they just use colors really well to express their, I guess their design and their vision. And Zach and the team in Worn and Wound, when they do all these collaborations, it's the same watch, but just so different. I don't know how to explain it, but it is. And the red one, I think, especially stood out to me as well. But yeah, great pick. Great pick.
Yeah, I feel like red and that green pusher, and then some green on the dial. Red and green is not a color combo you see all the time. Like this blue, this teal and pink. Like I've got a watch with teal and pink on it. It works very well together. That orange and sand works very well, but green and red, you look at it and it's like it doesn't make sense, but it also looks fantastic.
Yeah. And I think it's sort of I think this year is the Chinese year of the dragon. Correct me if
That's
I'm wrong.
big. That's
Yeah.
big.
So huge. I think it's a very, like, in a really auspicious sort of, year, I believe. And this red dial just reminds me of one of those
Yeah, it does.
year of the dragon release, just released a year earlier.
Yeah, I mean, let's remember this conversation, and I do think we'll be speaking about multiple Seiko 5s coming up in the year. The year of the dragon being a thing, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've also, yeah, I think there's already there's plenty of Year of the Dragon watches been released. Maybe let's make that an episode. Hey, that's an easy one.
Yeah, my birth year one's the year of the pig, so nothing exciting. We can leave that one out. But yeah, Brew is a watch brand I've wanted to dabble with for a while now, and haven't really pulled the trigger. I really liked the gold metric they did last year.
PVD gold
Yeah,
one. Yes, very nice. Yeah.
I didn't know if I could pull it off in terms of that, like gold, that much gold. It was very in your face, but very pretty watch. But I think, yeah, I'm trying to not buy as many watches this year, and I'm currently succeeding in day 18 or whatever up to.
Well done.
Thank you. I do think, yeah, if anything, Brew might be on the cards this year for a different. Yeah, Brew's just something that I don't have in the collection whatsoever, and everyone listening knows we have a pretty strong love for coffee.
Oh yeah.
So hit two birds with one stone there. You get a different style case, different dial layout, and a coffee watch.
That's it. And most of their watches are Mecha Quartz. They're easy to. Yeah, great pieces. I think I actually saw a couple on sale Not, but you're not buying, right? So don't worry about
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let's not
it.
plant that seed for now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sweet.
Fantastic. Great pick. I reckon you do one more, mate, because
Far away.
yeah, go for another one. Yep.
All right. So the other one I picked, maybe not as affordable as the rest of them, was the Christopher Ward C1 Moon Phase. And I feel like we've had so much moon phase over the not just 2023, but a couple of years now. It's definitely become a bandwagon kind of trend. It's very
Mm.
cool. I like it. But apart from some, maybe some of the, I'm going to butcher the names of the brands up the top. Like, yeah, I, we'll put it in the
Okay.
comments. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to do it because I make a fool of myself.
Langa and
Yeah,
yep.
those kind of brands, they do moon phase very pretty.
JLC do a lot of moon
JLC.
faces. Yep.
But this dial really hit it out of the park. I don't know if it's because I've got a bit of a love for the aventurine style dial, but
Oh
I
yeah.
think this watch is so pretty, and there's some people on our Instagram that have shared some real life photos with outfits and where
Yeah.
they're wearing it to, and it's such a pretty watch.
Yeah, I saw a really cool shot on Instagram. Can't remember the Instagram name account now, but and it was the moon face with a picture of the moon behind it, and I was like, that's a cool shot.
So cool.
That was an awesome shot. Yeah, it's a great pick, great pick. I think, yeah, I mean, I might as well say my pick, which is basically a Christopher Ward as well, but I'll speak to this first, and I just think this is the year they sort of elevated
100%.
themselves to the next level, sort of moving past just the dive and Garda and field watches. They've sort of went, yeah, you know what? We can make some pretty, elevated pieces too. And this is one of them. I mean, they have done a moon face before many
Mm,
years ago, but this just seems a bit more refined and, the adventuring dial, of course, which is I feel like it's coming mainstream now, like
yeah.
or a bit more mainstream. And, shout out to Zelos, of course, which I think and they've sort of I feel like when I think adventuring, I think Zelos and not just yeah. Not just
Yeah.
because of that one reason, but we won't go there. But it's also, you know, it's cool that all the micros or the smaller micros started doing it, and now sort of the bigger players are doing it too.
They've influenced the upper market, but yeah, just this watch. I don't think I could pull it off myself. Looking at other people's wrist shots of
Mm.
some, light play and stuff, but it's so pretty. It's done so well. It's so, like you said, refined but simple.
Yep.
And I think it made waves. And Christopher Ward has definitely solidified their spot among the big boys. And I think we're only going to see them go onwards and upwards into that. I think
For
going
sure.
forward.
For sure. And, I might as well slide right in there. And I was gonna say the Christopher Ward as well, which is the Belcanto. I mean, we can't go past Christopher Ward in 2023 and not talk about the Belcanto. I think it came out right in the start of the year. So it almost feels like it was 2022, but it was Jan 2023, I think it was
Yeah, I
released.
feel like it was early days because
Yeah.
the release dates were kind of
Yeah.
12 months in advance, and people started getting them, or 6 months, 8 months down the track, started getting
Correct,
them late
yeah,
last year.
or exactly, or they only just got, yeah, exactly. It was almost 12 months by the time people were getting them or something. So, yeah, look, fantastic. It won a GPHG award, which is that Grand Prix. I don't know what the title is
You
exactly,
couldn't
but
tell you.
watch awards. It won a lot of watch awards for design, and they use this. I think it's called Sonnery, which is that sort of chiming mechanism. They teamed up with watchmakers that do stuff for I think Arnold and Son, and sort of really high end sort of stuff to collaborate and make this piece. And I think when the Belcana came out, like we said before, a lot of people took notice to Christopher Ward that
Oh, huge.
normally wouldn't. I feel
Yeah.
like sort of people who would say, the sort of, the people in AA, the shout out
Yeah.
to Australian Affordable Watch Forum, like those guys, we've known Christopher Ward for a while now, in sort of that sort of range. And obviously a lot in Christopher Ward, it's quite big around the world as well in that sort of range. But I think this sort of, brought in probably the collectors, the different, probably people that don't look down below your
Hmm.
Rolexes and your Cartiers and your Tudors and go, hey, oh, what's this? This is cool. Which, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I think it's a good thing. I think exposure to a different market is always a good thing.
Yeah, and it's only getting wider and wider. Right, the color releases have come out throughout the year as well.
Mm.
We've seen some collabs. We spoke about, shout out Dab Watch and his collab with the
Yeah.
Belcanto as well. I'd even go to say this is probably the biggest release of the year in terms of the watch space itself. And
I'll give you that.
looking back in my time in the hobby, probably the biggest release in the hobby for me as well. Looking back at how much of a wave this made, and I think I can't remember the dates of it, but I do believe the Omega Chrono Chime came out not long before this, and the price difference between that was that rose gold or Sedna gold Omega one that came out. It was stupid expensive, like fu money to buy that watch, and for this to come out on the back of it and really be something that's its own thing. It's not just another. Yeah, I don't know. What's the price? I seen your eyes then.
It's out of stock, so sorry guys, you won't be able to buy one. But it's $851,400 US.
It's so wild. And was
What?
it a green dial from memory?
No, it's like it looks aventurine, like, but it's like a sparkly black.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it must be aventurine. It looks like it, but my God, it is beautiful. But
It's gorgeous. It really is. You can't take that away from the watch, but 800 grand on that watch. Is that USD as well?
yeah,
Yeah,
USD as well.
it
Yeah.
gets worse.
No, sorry,
Um,
it's Aussie,
okay,
850
okay.
grand Aussie. So,
But yeah, when you compare the Belcanto to that, yeah, for maybe not the exact same chiming mechanism
sure.
or anything like that or complication, it's pretty cool to see the price of the Belcanto compared to that chrono chime.
Yeah, and like I think these kind of pieces, right? These are statement pieces. They're statement
Yeah.
pieces in a sense that they offer a different complication that you don't generally wear or you don't generally have, and it's a speaking point. Someone looks, oh, that's really cool. I recently had hands-on with a Belcanto in one of our Red Bar meetups, and it was awesome,
Mm,
absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I think that's right. So yeah, he let me have a look at it, and it was just stunning. And and it's so different to what you would see in a regular watch, right? I mean, the actual
yeah.
where you read the time is sitting up on the top, and yeah, it's just a different layout. It's basically so different from any of the other watches that I've ever had hands on with or whatever, yet felt normal, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
no, it's hard to explain. And and the price is, yes, it's not cheap. I think it's like 5 grand or something. It's about 5 grand with the bracelet. Yeah, it's about 5 grand, just over 5 grand Aussie, almost 6K. Yeah, look, it's not cheap, but it's different, and you're paying for something that's different. And or you could pay $6,000 for a watch that you could get for $600, like, as in it doesn't
Mm.
look much different, and it probably isn't. Yeah. So anyway, I think, yeah, for sure. Probably, yeah, I would say it's probably my release for 2023 as well, up there.
I think,
That's it.
yeah, I think you'd be surprised at how many people would agree with that in
Yeah,
the community.
for sure.
Sweet. No, great pick. All right. Well, I think I'm going to round out the new releases with probably that's the Belcanto is probably the release I look at as the biggest one of the year, but this is probably my favorite. Yeah, the Tag Skipper. We
Uh,
spoke about this watch, and for
yes.
some reason, I got to have a squeeze at one of these. When these came out, Tag's been doing a lot of reaching into the back catalog over the past 12 to 18 months, maybe more. They're always kind of an iteration, or maybe there's a slight nod somewhere in the watch to the back catalog, whereas in this was a very faithful remake of the original Skipper from whatever year that was. This watch to me is gorgeous. I love it. I actually struggle to find anything I don't like about the watch, which is pretty surprising. Usually I'm pretty nitpicky with stuff,
Sure.
but I really do enjoy this watch. I like that they refined the case and went for that 39mm glass box
Yes.
style case. It really, really tipped, because they could have taken that dial layout and whacked it in one of their Carrera models.
Yeah.
One of the, I couldn't even tell you what they are, but the ones that you see in the
Caliber, whatever's 400s, so
yeah, whatever they are.
Caliber 4s, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they could have whacked it one of those and had the gimmicky feel, but this feels like an actual very faithful, very cool release that they're actually putting effort into.
Yeah.
Which, like, credit to Tag, they've done a lot of that this year. But I feel like they go backwards and forwards quite a lot. They either put quite a lot of effort into a really cool, faithful release that people can get behind, or they do something half-assed that isn't that special and doesn't get the attention that it probably should. Like, it's weird to think that this watch with its history is coming from the same brand that has like Quartz Mario Kart Formula
Yeah.
One stuff on the in the box next to it. It's such a weird concept to me, but it exists.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Um,
I sort of think that that's, you know, Citizen, Seiko, they all do that as well. There all
oh,
some
for sure. Yeah,
random sort of stuff. And yeah, look, I really like this. And I also love the fact that it doesn't say tag on it. It just says Hoya.
100%. Yeah,
I'm
that's a
a bit of
conversation
a
for another day as well.
yeah, I'm a bit of a I think maybe I'm a tag snob. I don't know it, but I am.
You can't beat old school racing Hoya
Yeah,
though.
Hoya.
Those, yeah,
Exactly.
unbeatable.
And I love the glass box. That crystal, that case. It's awesome. Really, really cool. Actually, I even just like the standard chronos. It doesn't even have to be the
Yep,
skipper. Just that sort of with that case, with that, crystal, that for me, if I look at that, okay, that embodies what the chronograph should look like for me.
100%.
Like it's a yeah,
It's
classic
traditional. It's
styling.
faithful.
Traditional,
Yeah,
yeah, classic styling. Yeah, great pick. Great
yeah,
pick.
it's gorgeous. And go back to Seiko quickly with that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
The difference that I guess was trying to make there was, if Seiko 5 came out with a line of Mario Kart watches from, Mario all the way through to Peach, whoever it
Hmm.
is,
Hmm.
I'd probably actually get behind a, maybe Star by $300 special for a
Yeah.
Mario Kart watch. But for a Quartz Formula One that I think are around 2100 AUD, I can't. Yeah, it's. I find it's a different ballpark. Like, it's all good. Like, to say, the gimmick is everywhere, but when you up at that price, I feel like it's a bit weirder.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
But in
yeah.
saying that, like, if you go way back on my Instagram, I had the Formula One Manchester watch once upon a time as
Mm,
well, Manchester United watch, and that's probably one of the more comfortable wearing watches I've ever had, and one of the
there you go.
best rubber straps I've ever owned as well.
There you go. Yeah. I mean,
Sweet.
if we want to talk about novelties and stuff, AP had Marvel, they had the Marvel Royal Oaks or whatever it is. So
Black Panther and Spider Man.
yeah, I, yeah. Anyway, let's not
It's
go
top
there.
to bottom, isn't it? It's all through.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is all true. Yeah, there's cheesy everywhere.
We're not talking
Uh,
about worst releases of 2023.
sorry. Let's go to best releases. Look, I've got one more on my list.
Far away,
Before
far
we sort
away.
of round up. So this is another micro brand. I feel like this is the year of the GMT, 2023.
Yep.
There were plenty of GMTs being released. Seiko released their GMT movement. I think it was sort of back end of 2022. I feel like I think it was slightly before then, but that sort of inspired a lot of micro brands to use that movement and basically, make it their own. And then there's also other brands that decided they were going to use Miyota's
Hmm.
GMT movement and make it their own. Difference being caller and flyer, GMTs, where I think the preference it's a flyer GMT is I guess people's preference. They'd call it true GMT or whatever it is, but to be honest,
If it does the job, it
it
does the
does the
job.
job, does the job for me. I've got a caller and it does the job just fine.
Your phone
But
does the same thing.
exactly, we did speak about this, but
We did, yeah.
so yeah, year of the GMT, and I thought, Laurier did a fantastic job in releasing a really cool GMT. I think we did speak about this in one of our new release episodes. So yeah, it's a Laurier Hydra Series 3. So it's a spec monster. It's a GMT. It's a dive watch. It's vintage inspired. It's got everything in it. It's got that cool second hand and everything else, but it's also, I think, 200-meter water resistant. It's got the 9075 movement, which is the Miyota movement with the, fire GNT. It does have I guess, the Hesalite crystal because Laurier loves to use Hesalite crystal acrylic because I guess they want to invoke that sort of vintage feel.
Yeah, it's got its taste, right? That's what they're going
Yeah,
for.
I mean, some people say, hey, you're just cheaping out. You should have just used a sapphire as everyone else uses sapphire. But hey, Omega does the same thing. No one complains. And that's thousands of dollars, compared to a couple of hundred US dollars.
So you're stepping on the toes there.
Exactly. Hey, it's true. It's
It
true
is
though.
very true,
It's
yeah.
true. And to
Yeah.
be honest, I do. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
But it just depends on what it is.
It fits
Um,
here, that's for sure.
I reckon so. Yeah, it definitely gives that. And I love that ad that they did as
Yep.
well. It's like a fantastic sort of vintagey ad for
We
it.
spoke about that too, didn't we?
We
The ad
did.
was done very well.
Yeah. So yeah, look, I just think it's a great release. Definitely probably on the slightly on the bigger side for smaller wristed people. It is 40 mil, but you know, definitely wears a bit bigger. I would say it wears looks like it was 41 mil, sorry. So it looks like it'll wear a little bit bigger, but you know, still compact sizes enough. But yeah, I reckon this is, you know, it was really the year of the GMT. I'm hoping to see, I guess, more GMTs this year, but maybe in a slightly different GMTs.
I'd like to see more field inspired stuff. I feel like GMTs kind of always fit into your Garda and your pilot kind of space. I
Yeah,
feel like that field dial, bigger dials, they take up more of the case face. There's a lot of room to play with on those.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And I guess before we sort of wrap up on this watches, I love the fact that Laurier don't hide the fact that they're not that they for each of their releases they actually say these this is our inspiration. Like they literally
Mm,
go through and they say, you know, we've been inspired by, you know, an Omega Seamaster whatever or a Rolex Sea Dweller this from the 1950s. And then they do that and it's cool because you're like, of course, because watchmaking is so iterative. Like there's going to be, you know, for every bel canto, there's going to be 1,000
mhm.
sub copies out there. But you know, it's not to say it's a copy. It's just that's just what it is. You can only, you know, reinvent the wheel. You know, you can't reinvent the wheel all the time. Yes, you can. And like I think you mentioned it
I
before,
think we've said
something
this before.
about
There's ceilings to this. Like
right.
we've
Yeah.
said this. Like it's a spot on your wrist. Like your wrist
Yes,
can be.
that's what you
There's
said.
people who have
Yeah.
that 6 inch to have it. Big the bigger fellas and ladies get out there with
Yeah.
the wrist size.
Yeah.
There is such a ceiling to this small little piece of real estate on the wrist that how much can be done with it.
That's it.
And I think we said this as well. That we seem to be talking about more innovation and leaps and bounds in some of these micro brands and even the upper brands as well. But if you're going to draw inspiration from somewhere, I think it's way more respectable to nod to them and pay the homage in the words as well,
Yeah.
rather than make up some crap
Yeah.
and make it sound like you're trying to sell the watch because
Yeah, it's some
there is some crap out there.
groundbreaking stuff. Yeah, groundbreaking stuff. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. And yeah, and look, and it's I mean, you look at it immediately, and it's not like, oh, it's a copy of something. It
Mm.
looks unique, it looks different, and yeah, shout out to Laurier. I think they're doing some really, really, really cool things.
Yeah, definitely. No, great watch to finish that on.
Cool, cool. All
Sweet.
right.
I don't know if you've got anything interesting to round out the episode with.
You sound like you've got one, so
Yeah, I
hit
thought
me with
we'd
it.
we'd bring up. It's nothing affordable by any
Okay.
means, but I don't know why, but I really do enjoy the new Speedmaster Dark Side of the Moon that was released
Okay.
yesterday.
Okay. Yeah.
It's pretty much a copy and paste of the old one. They're doing the moon swatch treatment on the Dark Side of the Moon now.
Yeah.
And they've just put the Saturn V, I think it is, rocket
Uh,
in the left subdial on there.
yes.
But it is, to me, like I do get into space, a bit of a space nut. My grandfather, Grandad Roy, he worked for NASA for
Yeah.
some time.
Yeah.
I love this sort of stuff, and it is a cool play on the watch. I do think a lot more could have been done with the rest of it in
Yes.
terms of how last year's and the year before's looked.
Yeah.
There's a bit of missed opportunity there, but I think we'd be silly if we were to say we'd expect anything less or more from Omega
Groundbreaking.
these
Yeah.
days.
Exactly.
They could have whacked mission to something on here, and we would have gobbled it up, and they would have made a fuss about it all over the reviews and the media as well. But
Yeah.
I actually think this is cool. I like it.
Fully with you there as well. I think there were some elements that someone was doing a comparison. They were saying, you know, they've actually, in some ways, it's better because it's like a better movement, and you know, it's got this cool that's rocket, you know, and that's actually really cool. That's the one of the
Yeah.
sub registers with a rocket, and I think that's awesome. But you know, there's also things that have gone backwards. You know, used to be like loomed. There used to be loom crown, and they used to be loomed on the tachymeter or whatever. Now it doesn't have it, and you know, just little things like that. And also the cost going up from $9,000 to $14,300 for pretty much the same thing.
That
Yeah,
rocket better be solid platinum.
yeah, exactly. Very interesting thing, though, that you brought this up because I saw something which is related to this. So there is I think, I can't remember off the top of my head, but basically, there's a guy who modifies and not modifies, he repairs Omegas, like a lot of Omegas,
Okay.
Speedmasters, you name it. He's like a watchmaker, and he does a lot of stuff. But he also, I think he also makes dials, and he makes stuff to sort of replace as well, or restorations and things like that, refinishing and all that jazz. I can't remember his name. If I can remember his name, I'll say it. But I can't remember his name right now. Funnily enough, he put up a post saying, "I can't believe this. I think I need to change all my passwords and stuff off my
Oh,
Instagram."
oh God.
He actually made a second hand with a rocket
Has he got like
ages ago.
receipts ready to show a photo up or
He's got
anything?
photo. He put a
Oh,
photo
this
up.
is this is hectic.
He put a photo up, and he's like, and he said he made it, and then he went, "Oh, this is a bit gaudy. No one's gonna want this." And now
Ah,
Omega's released this watch with this thing, and I was like, "Wow, missed
it
opportunity."
yeah. There's a rat among the ranks somewhere.
Yeah,
Oh
I got
man.
to find it because it's awesome. I saw that and I was like, wow, that's super cool. Yes, actually, yes, I know who it is, and I have met the fella as well. Real nice guy.
Oh, you met him?
He's in Perth. He's in
Oh,
Perth. Yeah,
cool.
so he's yeah. Shout out to Lewis Watch Co. He is a Omega
Wow.
expert. He's an Omega authorized watchmaker. Omega speed, like he's an Omega expert, right? And yeah, he made
This is cool.
this hand, and yeah, I'll definitely put a link to this in the show notes because it's awesome. Yeah, there we go.
We
So
need Lewis on the pod.
that's
I
it.
need Lewis on here. I want to talk about this.
April April in April 2023 he made that hand, and then he thought, yeah, it looks a bit, not quite sure about that. I'm not gonna, he sort of chucked it in the thing. It's incredible.
You've made my evening. Hey, this
He's
is amazing.
he's actually got, and the best part is he's got receipts for it because he's made it. He sent it to someone on WhatsApp, and it's got the date where he sent it.
Ah,
And then he reckons, looks a bit silly, doesn't it? I don't know. Maybe it'll look a bit better, blah blah. In a minute hand or a subdial hand. Anyway, mind
what
blowing,
a
mind blowing.
yeah, what a story.
So yeah,
Wow. And here in Perth too. Amazing.
here in Perth, yeah, Lewis Watchko, yeah, Adam Lewis is yeah, great guy. I met him, can't remember where I met him actually. Had a good chat with him about his awesome Speedmaster and all the stuff that he does. And I can't remember. Yeah, that's right. It was at the watch fair. There were WA Watch and Clock
Oh,
Fair.
yeah, okay. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, anyway, I saw that on Instagram a couple of days ago, and yesterday, and it was like, oh my, this is insane. But inspirations, and it makes sense, right?
It's very
Rockets and everything
coincidental,
else.
right?
Yeah, it is super coincidental, but yeah, maybe we reach out and yeah,
I would
watch
love to
something
have
to
that
us.
chat. That'd be really cool.
That's funny.
Sweet.
That's funny.
No, good
Uh,
chat. That was fun. That was cool.
Cool. That was cool. That's cool. I don't think I've got any, well, actually, probably do have plenty of interesting things to talk about, but I think we'll probably wrap it up for this week. And yeah, I'm excited excited to start back season 2 again. And yeah, like we said, we've got some pretty cool stuff lined up this year. And
Yep.
yeah, as usual, listeners, we'll have our show notes and play along at home. Check us out on our Instagram. Slide in our DMs. Say hello. Ask us questions. Give us feedback. Whatever. We love it, and we want to keep improving. We want to keep bringing this to the next level. And yeah, when we want you guys to come for a ride as well.
For sure. That was good. Glad to be back and looking forward to 2024.
Awesome. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, we'll leave it there.
Take care, mate. Chat. Thank you for joining us on Overtime the podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
You can find us on our Instagrams at Overtime the Podcast, at Kinda Average Watches, and at Horology Capture.
We appreciate your support and value your feedback. If you have any questions, suggestions, or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, please hit us up. We would love to hear from you.
Until next time.